Do you have emotionally immature coworkers or leaders? Or do you have an overly positive boss who's constantly either ignoring or glossing over difficulty to the detriment of the culture or the business? Maybe you're struggling to bring your full authentic self into your work because of these dynamics. So how might you improve emotional intelligence in your workplace? Listen, I've devoted my life to understanding emotional dynamics in business, notably when going through change. And by the end of this video, you'll know 3 tried and true tips I've learned along the way that will help you do just that. Let's get it. In this video, we'll start with a quick emotional intelligence or EQ refresh, then dive into the 3 tips to help you begin improving emotional intelligence in your workplace starting today. Tips I've seen work well no matter the size of the team or the organization. And believe it or not, the start of this journey is so much closer than you're probably thinking it is. So before we dive into the tips to help you improve emotional intelligence or EI, if you've got 5 or so minutes, I would invite you to watch this video. In it, I break down what emotional intelligence is and walk through EQI 2.0, a scientifically validated measure of EI. So if you can, be sure to check out this video first because I'm going to be referencing back to language that I used in this video. Have a watch, then come back and we'll dive into the 2 tips to help you improve emotional intelligence in your workplace. The first tip is to start with you. One of the best ways to improve emotional intelligence in the workplace is to improve your own. Recall, EI starts with you. Self-perception and self-expression. Ask yourself, how am I showing up in an emotionally intelligent way? Do I have emotional self-awareness? Am I expressing my emotions in a productive and effective way? Am I finding opportunity to share empathy with my peers, with my teammates, with my manager? I firmly believe that you have the power to lead from wherever you sit in your organization. And by you taking accountability for your own EI and the way that you're showing up in an emotionally intelligent way, you can serve as a role model to so many in your organization because you never know who's watching. Speaking of watching, good gracious, I'm going full creep mode. Listen, if you're getting value from this, please subscribe. Watch more of my videos because I'm striving to deliver you value with every single one. So make sure you subscribe and be one of the first to get notified when the new video drops. All right, let's get back into it. The second tip is around assessment and training. Improvement can only start with an understanding of your baseline, your starting point. So it's very important in any improvement journey to dimension that baseline. And as it relates to EI, maybe it looks like inviting your teammates or your organization to take an EI assessment. And of course, I'm strongly biased towards EQI 2.0 because it's a very thorough and scientifically validated assessment tool. But there are a lot of other ones out there. But if you're interested in EQI 2.0, be sure to check out the links that are in the show notes of this video. Great information, and I think a great way for you to present an assessment tool to your team or to your entire organization. Regardless of which tool you choose, find at least one, right? Because it's so important that those individuals understand that baseline where they are. Because remember, emotional intelligence changes over time. It's not a fixed entity like IQ. Rather, it's something that we can continue to grow and to learn as we get older. And speaking of which, once you've established an understanding of the baseline, then you're striving to find what is the right training to bring into the organization, to my team or to the entire workforce based on the results of these baselines, right? So maybe that is specifically EQ or EI training. Maybe that's training on conscious and unconscious bias. Maybe that's training on empathy. You can find ways to implement different training modules to address those areas where employees might want to grow or become better in their emotional intelligence. All right, I'm about to state something incredibly profound. The best way to improve at anything is to practice that thing. Okay, so it's not that profound. In fact, it's incredibly straightforward, but it's important, right? And the same goes with emotional intelligence. If you want to get better at emotional intelligence, find ways to invite your team, invite your manager, invite the workforce to practice. One of the best practices of emotional intelligence that I've ever heard was through a client that I was working with in the automotive industry. And it was a leader who every team meeting, she met with her team weekly, she would start the meeting with a feeling share, where every individual would share 2 to 3 feelings that they are experiencing either in that moment, that morning, through the weekend, or over the past week. And on the whiteboard in the team room, there were like 50 or 60 different emotions. So if you were kind of lost for the language, you could easily find that on the whiteboard. And this was such an incredible practice of a lot of the tenets of emotional intelligence. It invited empathy within the team. It invited vulnerability. It allowed individuals to practice emotional self-expression, invite them to practice emotional self-awareness, having to sit there thinking about, okay, how am I feeling? What are the emotions that I'm feeling? And it armed them with language beyond just happy, sad, and angry, because there's so many more emotions, right? So there was a richness in this exercise. And it also granted permission and that muscle memory to share and talk about emotional energy in a very productive and effective way. So strive to find your way of practicing emotional intelligence, whether you're implementing this type of team exercise or not. So before you go, I've got something else for you completely for free. Don't get out your wallet, put away your credit cards. But I actually want to share with you a keynote message that I delivered to an organization going through a tremendous amount of change within their organization and actually going in the market as well. And it's the snippet of the keynote where I'm talking about leading others through change. And of course, change can invite really difficult emotions. Difficult emotions that it's hard for us to express and that we have a difficult time dealing with. And so I want to share that portion of the keynote to help you think about how to inspire and lead others when they're having that difficult emotion, whether it be a lot of change or some other dynamic that you might be experiencing in your work. So there are a couple more tidbits in there to help you think about improving emotional intelligence in your workplace. Now, of course, this is a message that clients all over the world pay me to deliver, but it's yours today completely for free. All you got to do is click on the link below. I want to make sure you have the research, the data, the insights to accelerate your growth through even your toughest work experiences, your toughest change challenges. I'm Cassandra Worthy. And until we meet again, keep growing and keep rocking.